Hello, thank you very much for tuning into Lightcast TV. This is Martin, and today we are expecting Raila Odinga and President Ruto to do a joint announcement there at the KICC ground live anytime from now. Thank you so much for tuning in. The meantime, as we wait, you can tell us where you're watching the live stream from. If you're watching through Facebook, kindly follow Lightcast TV on Facebook. And also if you are watching us through YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Lightcast TV Kenya, and tell us what do you expect to happen today, because there had been rumors before that there was a possibility of President Ruto and Raila Odinga joining or becoming together, ama kukua pamoja katika serikali, and there is rumors of them splitting power 50-50%, and this comes a week after he toured several parts of Kenya, consulting with Kenyans on what he should do next as the opposition leader. So after he failed the AUC seat, and looks like the announcement today will be a bit surprising to many, because there had been so much rumors that Raila Odinga cannot work with Ruto, and today we are seeing the opposite is becoming true. What do you think about the day today? What do you expect as a Kenyan? Do you expect even after Raila Odinga's agreement with the President Ruto will bear fruit for Kenyans? Because we saw the Kenyans had remarkable progress during the times that Raila Odinga formed a coalition with the coalition government with the late President Mwai Kibaki. Do you think that the same will be experienced in this Kenya Kwanza Raila government? What's your take as we await for the big announcement? You can just tell us where you're watching the broadcast from, so that we'll be together. Tell us what do you expect? Unexpect nini? Unexpect hii deal kisha sainiwa Mkenya atanufaika, or will the Kenyan benefit in any way? Yeah, you can let us know. My name is Martin, and we saw Cherargei saying that today at the KICC, the Kenya Kwanza administration will sign a working partnership with the ODM party to deepen and widen the broad-based arrangement. This shall foster national unity, peace, equity, development, and prosperity of our nation. What do you expect? Before even the whole event, we saw Cherargei himself fueling rumors back then that Raila Odinga should be given the position of a prime minister. Which many Kenyans didn't agree with before. And even after this issue of Raila Odinga being given prime minister, do you think that he'll be given a powerful prime minister, or kama Mudavadi, just a ceremonial prime CS? Thank you. Mzee Yohana anasema, commenting pale kwa Facebook, anasema wale walisema hakuna handshake, no nusu mkate, kama wako hai, including Prezos Kwele vizuri, but thank you very much for your comment. Kiringi Richard anasema very good, let them come together, ndio 2027 tufagilie wote, we are tired of this regime. Okay, that's an interesting comment there. Kijana ya Boge Tutu, asante sana kwa kutune in. You can just let us know what you think about today's agreement signing between Raila Odinga and President Ruto, and the event will be coming anytime from now live. And in the meantime, thank you very much for tuning into Lightcast TV. You can continue commenting and telling us where you're watching the event from. You can also let us know, what do you think? Will this coalition help Kenya in any way? Geoffrey Onyoni anasema wametuchosha hawa magasia wote. Interesting comment, because right now we're seeing live images from the outside KICC. ODM supporters wako pale wanashangilia, like the event, the mood there, watu wanashangilia, just waiting for the big announcement. So it's an interesting turn of event. If you're watching us on Facebook, kindly follow Lightcast TV Kenya on Facebook, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Lightcast TV Kenya. We also have a TikTok account, Lightcast TV Kenya. You can cross over and follow Lightcast TV Kenya on TikTok, so that you stay updated on what's happening on our nation and in the world as general. Yeah, you can just tell us your comment. What do you think? Just sharing what you think. George Carson Kamau wanasema all these are culprits, we shall whip them come 2027. Okay. But waiting Aaron anasema Raila Ruto handshake. Okay, and do you think that that handshake will benefit Kenya in any way? Alex Gishuru Monene Oku anasema watching from Meru County, Kenya drowning by Tumbo crowds. Okay. Yeah, you can let us know what you think about the today's surprising announcement by Raila Odinga and William Ruto, coming anytime from now. Yeah, what do you think? Do you think utanunua unga 50 shillings after the major announcement? Ama utabai sukari at 20 bob at maybe 80 bob in kilogram? What's your take? What magic maybe should we expect from Raila Odinga and President Ruto's today's announcement? Or is just as usual? And do you think even after Ruto has included Raila Odinga in his government, do you think even if, for example, amepatiwa a powerful position in government, like the powerful prime minister, will be in a position to make suggestion, and those suggestions be taken positively by Ruto for him to implement for the better of Kenyans? Patrick Orwaro anasema Raila don't try to join Ruto because Ruto is a killer. Okay, is a killer. Okay. Geoffrey Onyoni anasema wabinafsi hakuna benefit, common mwananchi atapata wamechukua tumbo zao. Asante sana for your comment. Thank you for your comment. You can follow us on Facebook, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel at Lightcast TV Kenya. So that we'll be at par by what's happening in the nation. Okay, I'm joined by my co-presenter, co-host.
Hello, this is Lightcast TV. My name is Ninja Lawor Kolek. And like my co-host has said, today we're expecting former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and President Ruto to make a joint grand announcement. It's on the screens. You could see that the supporters of this this coalition between Ruto and Raila are outside. They're in, around the CBD. waiting.
Yeah, just enjoying themselves. It's like today there will be heaven on earth.
Really?
You see, like the way Kenyans are excited, maybe they know, they think something positive will come out of this. Considering also is just the second term, the second half of Ruto's Ruto's regime when he took power in after the 2022 elections.
Yep.
Do you think if, this coalition will do magic in this for the benefit of Kenyans?
I don't think so. I only think that Raila Odinga will play a role as an advisor. He'll become one of the advisors, but I don't think he'll play a major role, knowing Ruto, being Ruto. Just the same way he played the role of being an advisor in Uhuru's administration, in Jubilee administration. I think the same thing is going to happen here.
That's interesting, because you're talking about Ruto being advised. Right now he has 1,000 advisors, maybe in his government, because I think he has advisors in different aspects of his government, in different ministries. And so far, like, people are saying that it's like now Ruto is the one advising his advisors. Like, according to the decisions that are being made so far in the government, they don't look like they serve the benefit of the people. And we have many advisors in the office of the president. So I don't see a possibility of the reverse happening, because we see someone like after the cabinet reshuffle that he did last time and put Energy CS, and that's Wandai and John Mbadi from ODM kwa serikali. But when you see the decisions that are being made by John Mbadi in the treasury, it's like there is no difference, and the narratives the same as President Ruto used to sing before, like the issues to do the cost of living and the price of goods and like everything in the treasury. It's like just the same, and it's like some people are saying that it's like John Mbadi is not in the control of the treasury fully. It's like there are forces behind him. Yani kama kwa hapo kama puppet CS, but they say some like a puppet CS, that like the main CS here, the shadow CS is Moses Kuria. Do you think that that rumors can be true?
A shadow minister is somebody who is in the opposition. That is what I believe. A shadow minister is somebody who is in the opposition. So a shadow minister probably will be somebody who is allied to the likes of Rigathi Gachagua and also Martha Karua and the rest of the Gema community, who are now working towards ensuring that Ruto is removed from power in 2027. So it's going to be interesting to see how this joint announcement is going to unfold, because as far as concerned, Raila Amolo Odinga is the kind of person who is doing public consultations, yes, but then again, he first consults himself. He has to take care of himself first, because he's the kind of politician who has morphed from on different administrations since Moi's administration. This morphing of Raila Amolo Odinga being between those who have ideological they are ideologically aligned to the needs of Kenyans, and ensuring that the democracy space is taken care of. And there are those who are allied to their vested interests, right?
Yeah.
So what I do believe is that Raila Odinga serves both, and I think he's in Ruto's administration to serve his interest, and at the same time to serve Kenyans' interests. But it's going to be interesting to see what kind of an announcement, because now that we see live so many people from the ODM side waiting with bated breath so as to listen to the announcement. I think that probably that the announcement is going to favor the Kenyan people, because as we have said before, Raila Amolo Odinga has been in the democratic fight for a very long time. He's been involved in the second liberation of this country for a very long time, and he has been vying to be the president, and he lost it 5 times. He vied to be in the AUC bid, and he lost. And now in 2027, it's going to be interesting to see whether he's going to run again, knowing that he is in his evening years, and time is not on his side as well. And so it's very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of announcement that is going to be rolled out. What I expect from Raila Amolo Odinga maybe to announce is that when he joins the government, probably he'll expect the government to nip the problem of abductions, extrajudicial killings, and intimidation of the local Mwananchi in the bud. I think he'll expect Ruto to ensure that there is freedom of speech, and that the local Mwananchi can air their views without intimidation from the government, and the ability just to express themselves, because we saw the CS of Interior, what he said about trying to gag and trying to intimidate youth in the space of the internet, and the internet is the only space where the young people are now utilizing to ensure that their needs and their ideas are ventilated. So it's really going to be interesting. I don't think Raila Amolo Odinga is going to be forced by Ruto to join a grand coalition that does not work for his benefit. But then again, also Raila Amolo Odinga is a human being, has human nature. He has needs, and as a politician, of course, politicians have been known to be very selfish, and in a manner of a way, he's going to be selfish in a way so as to join this government, because there's so many people on the ground who have told him that if he joins this government, then he's not going to get their votes. It's going to be interesting to watch. And as you can see in the ground, people are interesting, and there are people who are just watching, waiting with bated breath to see whether Raila Amolo Odinga is going to actually join Ruto, or they're going to work together side by side as separate legal entities,
So before we continue, kuna watu wame-tune in on Facebook na pia YouTube, and we have a few comments there. Tuko na Geoffrey Onyoni, of course, nimesoma hiyo. Tuko na George Carson kama anasema Ruto must go, and then Gichuru anasema, tuko na nani, Geoffrey Onyoni, asante sana kwa kutune in. Oruaru pia nimesoma hiyo comment, and pia Carson anasema it's officially that wananchi have been ditched. Wakenya si wajinga. Wakenya si wajinga.
Nyani ni wale wale.
Nyani ni wale wale. Tuko na Zablon Malala anasema Raila ni cartel, wacha washikane watuondolee jam. ODM ni chama ya binafsi. Tuko Grace Felicia anasema langu jicho. Lako jicho inafaa ikuwe macho, kuna mbili. Thank you very much. Tuko na Lucky Angote anasema political broker in Kenya, umekula 9 billion, chukua ingine, God is watching you. Vijana wameuliwa ati unataka haki. The kula ni pekee yako, nonsense. Wakenya wamekasirika. Tuko na Kevin Okwaro anasema Lord fanya mambo gani? Obure Junior anasema sisi hatuna nguvu. Tuko na nguvu kwa ballot. I think 2027 tutapata hiyo nguvu. Patrick Uguta anasema Raila joining Ruto means nothing for determining factor in ni mwananchi. Mwirori wa Irimo anasema we have power, come 2027 we elect a new faces in our country. Alafu tuko na George Rabiko anasema if baba is happy we are happy too. So kuna hii that interesting comment from Mwirori wa Irimo about we have power come 2027. You remember that the NADCO report about now the IEBC. They agreed to Raila Odinga and Kenya Kwanza agreed to form an IEBC selection panel that will favor both sides. And back then we saw a situation where Raila and Ruto were rivals.
Yes.
While they were on opposing sides. And right now they seem to be singing the same song. So does it mean that the IEBC that will be formed this time will favor the common mwananchi, bearing in mind that back then, before the whole issue, Raila Odinga was in the side ya wananchi, and right now he seems to be joining the government. And do you think that IEBC will be itasaidia Wakenya in any way?
I think that first, before the IEBC is formed, I think that that NADCO report is not. I don't think it acts in the best interests of the Kenyan people. I think what is important here is the constitution, the 2010 constitution. If these two leaders have the best interests of Kenyans at heart, then they will have to involve all the stakeholders in the country to ensure that the IEBC that is going to be formed for the country represent all the stakeholders of this country. We cannot be having two people who are allied in the same side forming the IEBC. That is a no-go zone. That will be very wrong, because we also have the opposition who are now in the Kemba community working hard to ensure that the IEBC is representing all the Kenyan communities. And so I think that it will be very key to see how the matters of the NADCO report will be ventilated, especially in Parliament. That is an issue that needs to be discussed in Parliament, because Parliament is responsible for ensuring that laws are enacted, for coming up with laws that will favor the Kenyan people first. And so if the Kenyan people feel that this IEBC is an institution that actually will work for Ruto and Raila only, I don't think that it will go well with them. And I think that more often than not, now that we have the Gen Zs who actually have the power, when they say something to an institution, like what they said to the leadership of Jesus Winner, which made them have feeble knees and weak legs as a result of the monies that they were promised by Ruto. I think that Gen Zs will not be happy with this, and they can go to the streets. They can actually rally all the Kenyans, all the millennials, to ensure that the IEBC represents the Kenyan people. And also, they have been asking the government to ensure that the IEBC is representative of the young people. We've just been seeing that IEBC has old people, probably people who are allied to the political establishments, but we need to see young people championing their views and ensuring that they are not only on the table, but they are also in the menu as well. And this time around, the young people are woke. They are watching out to see whether this administration will take into consideration everything that they have vowed for this government to do, and they want to see a change. And if they don't see a change, they'll be back on the streets. So it is going to be interesting to watch. And this will depend on what Raila and Ruto are going to announce, the grand announcement. We don't even know whether they are going to form the government. We still don't know, but these are speculations and rumors that are emerging since they are about to make an announcement. Probably they are going to work together. But at some point, you remember Ruto, not Ruto, but Raila had joined the government before, and we found that he had fallen out with Moi. He worked with Kibaki. He worked with Uhuru. With Ruto, I don't know whether it will give the way the Gen Zs like to put it out there. Okay. Is it giving for Raila and Ruto to work together, knowing that their interests are not allied, knowing that Baba has been very vocal in matters to do with the common Mwananchi? Let's wait and see.
So there's this aspect you mentioned of Raila Odinga's personal interest being served in this coalition, maybe if it will happen. So we all the Kenyans, or most Africans, know that Raila's position in the democratic journey of the country Kenya, and they know him as this person that has been fighting for the freedom, fighting for some things to be implemented, multipartyism. You remember, we have many things that are associated with Raila Odinga, which were in the interest of Kenyans. And that time, when he used to fight for that, he was still in his youth, na alikuwa na ile strength ya kufight na kila kitu. Do you think that why should you now spend all your entire life, youthful life, or majorly, basically life, to fight for what you think is good for the country, and then you choose this move, to join an oppressor, or to join a person that is unpopular among Kenyans as a way to retire? I see it you see, wanasemanga vile umeanza mwendo, haijalishi vile umemaliza ndio inajalisha. So does it mean that Kenyans will rubbish all the things that Raila amefanya so far for their benefit, kwa sababu the way choose kubow out of the political seat? And then there's this issue of what on a benefit. Right now, if the coalition was supposed to benefit Kenyans, I see a situation here ya wenye ungekuwa na celebrate size in normal Kenyans wangetoka pale KCC waenda celebrate, because they see that now this movement will be able to take us somewhere, not ODM supporters going to cheer. Because when you see ODM supporters going to cheer, it basically means that that coalition agreement will benefit more of a ODM party than Kenyans. It's like when ODMs are, maybe there is a rumor that the government will be shared 50-50. We can say 50% from ODM and 50% from Kenyans, from the Kenya Kwanza. So that means that this coalition, the way things are looking, it will benefit more of Raila and benefit the ODM rather than benefit the normal Kenya. Tuko na Baba Kintila anasema niko live Westland, hii imeenda. The 2-year fest anasema hii inchi ya kukula ukipata opportunity. Raila amengangana for many years. Sasa ameamua atafute retirement package through backdoor. 2027 is close and behind us. Tuko na Salmoi ama Simoi Kevin anasema wacha tungoje tuone. Tuko na Nelson Mutsami Msafi anasema what is a benefit to citizen when they unite? That's what we are trying to analyze. You can also tell us, will it make you buy a packet, 2 kg packet of unga at 75 shillings? Tuko na Nelson Musami bado, thank you. Honorable Victor Osawa anasema siasa is a dirty game sana. Of course. Na anasema pia noma sana. Yeah, it's a dirty game. So it's like how will I benefit? Nikibenefit hapa, let our friendship be. So it means that even the journey that Raila was making all over the country after the AUC defeat, when he was saying that he was consulting Kenyans, he was actually consulting the ODM leadership in different parts of the county, in the country, sorry. Because we saw his meeting in somewhere like Kilifi, Mombasa. Yesterday he was I think in Narok and Isiolo and Nairobi. He was just majorly meeting ODM leadership and ODM members. Does it mean that ODM members are compared directly to Kenyan citizens, especially the ODM leadership? Because those are people, maybe I assume that they work for a salary. You understand? And normal Kenyans don't have a direct maybe benefit from the government. Like let's say like a salary from the government. You understand? So this situation is very exciting, and I think it's high time for ODM, to be honest, because right now we've seen kuna faction ya wenye na support move ya Raila kuungana na Ruto within ODM, and you also have those people that are against, and kumekuwa like this issue has divided the ODM into two parts. Understand? So does it mean that someone like Edwin Sifuna, who vowed not to support Ruto in any way, and we also have Babu Owino who vowed not to support Ruto in any way, will opt to move out of ODM if Raila Odinga continues supporting or joining the government or forming an agreement with the government? Do you see a situation where Sifuna walks out of ODM or Babu Owino?
Well, I think it's still early because we cannot really come to that conclusion as at now, because we are yet to listen to the announcement between Raila and Ruto. And we don't even know whether they are going to work together side by side, or whether their parties are joining together, or how the technicalities will be between Ruto and Raila. But what I do know is that people like Sifuna are politicians who are trying to win the public image.
Okay.
They want to create a good public image in a manner that they stick to their ideology, and they stick to their democratic ideology, and ensure that the needs that the Kenyans are garnering for are met. So people like Babu, people like Sifuna, even if they walk out of ODM, they still will remain politically relevant, because they are actually the people who are garnering for the young people to have a seat in the leadership of this country. We have seen how this old generation have been taking the young people for a ride, saying that young people are the leaders of tomorrow. We have been seeing how the young people have been misused by the politicians over the years since independence, being given monies by the politicians, and yet they are being told lies, a culture of lies that Ruto's administration has been used to since 2022. And you also realize that the person of the president, Ruto, he started out as an MP, then he joined the coalition, he became a minister of education, where he was involved in graft in the Grand Coalition government, and then he became the vice president. He was sidelined by Uhuru Kenyatta, and then he became the president. And you remember during 2022, he branded Raila Amolo Odinga as a sorcerer, mchawi, aliitwa mchawi. And there's a saying that Senator Sifuna likes to say in the Senate, and he likes to say that Raila Amolo Odinga is the most insulted politician, not only in Kenya but in the continent as well. People cannot understand him, and yet he has developed a thick skin as a result of those negative energy and the aspersions that has been cast against him as a result of being Raila Amolo Odinga. But Raila Amolo Odinga has learned to develop a thick skin. He has learned to develop nerves of steel as a result of all the things that he has gone through. And he realizes that if he does not fight for himself, even these other politicians who are allied to his party will not fight for him. So I think Raila Amolo Odinga realizes that he needs to do what he needs to do. And also remember that the ODM party has over 5 million members across the country, and it has withstood the test of time. Comparing to other political parties in Kenya, ODM has withstood the test of time, and it has been there for over 20 years. And that is something that I would call a great feat. As much as Raila Amolo Odinga might lose credibility, he might lose popularity with most of the Kenyans right now, he needs to be given a standing ovation for ensuring that his party has developed deeper roots. Now, I think that he has a way of dealing with Sifuna. I don't think he can allow Babu Owino and Sifuna to leave. Raila is very smart. As much as he's living in his evening years, he knows the people that can make ODM party to be the party that it should be, and he wants to leave a legacy, knowing that his life made an impact in this country. So, as much as there's a lot of speculation, whether he's selfish, whether he is doing this for the Kenyan people, whether he's doing this for himself, I think that is something that we need to wait and see. It is possible for him to work with Ruto, and it is also possible with him to decide that he's going to work with Ruto as a separate legal entity, not necessarily joining the government, but also putting the government in check. You remember when he was with Ruto, he said that in the presence of President Ruto, Raila Amolo Odinga is not the person to fear anybody. He speaks truth to power, and he told Ruto that he needs to stop abductions. Abductions need to stop. Extrajudicial killings need to stop. And also, the Kenya Kwanza administration need to ensure that all the promises that they made in the year 2022, that they are actualized. So I think, well, Kenyans, like I am, are very expectant.
So thank you very much for those commenting and tuning into Lightcast TV Kenya live on Facebook and YouTube, and thank you very much for your comments and sharing the broadcast, and you can tell us unatuwatch ukiwa wapi, na pia kuna comment kwa YouTube, kuna mwenye anasema, huyo ni Jedida Ndenya, anasema will never vote again, to hell with politics. So we have there
are many of us who said in the year 2022 that they're not going to vote again, but this 2027, I think it's important for the Gen Zs, especially. I make a clarion call to the Gen Zs. It is time to drain the swamp. As much as Raila has done a lot for this country, he will remain as a legacy that is going to be remembered even if he doesn't run for 2027 elections. Whether he runs or not, Raila Amolo Odinga will remain to be a pivotal figure that is feared around the political circles in this country, no matter how much he is hated by other communities. They are always going to rally around the fact that he created a democracy and fought for the second liberation of this country. That is something that we cannot forget. He is the father of devolution. Remember, devolution started with him, and so he's regarded as the father of devolution. He's the one who coined out the mandamanos for this country, and he taught the Gen Zs how things are done on the ground. And if they want change, then they need to do it on the streets. The desire to picket, the desire to ensure that they speak their minds and speak truth to power. So I think no matter how Kenyans are angry with this grand announcement, they need to remember that as well. Probably the essence of human nature is coming in. If you go back to the Bible, King Solomon started out very well. You remember?
Yeah.
When he was young, he asked God for wisdom on how to handle the people of Israel, right? Then the people loved Solomon because of his wisdom, because of knowledge and understanding that God had given him. He slept an ordinary man and he woke up a man full of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding endowed by God.
Yes.
As a result of that encounter, now, as a result of all the wealth and everything that he amassed, Solomon, in his evening years, decided to join the women who were allied to other gods like Asherah and the gods, the gods of this world.
Yeah.
And that is how he lost his legacy. I don't know whether that is the same with this man. I don't know, but let's wait and see.
So tuko na Philip Atunga anasema, I am Honorable Philip Atunga from Kisii County. We Kisii community, we can't abhor that government. We stand with Matiang'i to the letter. And tuko na mtu amereply kwa hiyo comment anasema simameni tu. Tuko na Ole Paraku anasema tuko hapa siku zote. Asante sana kwa kutuni. Na tuko na mwingine Mahmud Moha anasema sina budi hasira kwa wingi. Thank you very much for tuning in. Tuko pia live kwa YouTube. Unaweza vuka kwa YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel Lightcast TV Kenya, na tutashukuru sana. So kumekuwa na hii kumekuwa na hii news, kumekuwa na trend jana or early today asubuhi that Raila Odinga meeting in consultation meeting in Kisii iliingia maji. Like people boycotted from attending that meeting, and it was according to the news kwa ground, wanasema like event ilikuwa iwekwe place open, but it ended up to be like in a room. So it was like a boardroom meeting there at Kisii. So it's like people are saying that even the Kisii people are saying that Raila is high time they shift attention from Raila Odinga. Bearing in mind right now we have someone like Matiang'i who is planning to vie for the MP seat. Not MP seat, but for the presidency. And also we have Maraga. Maraga has announced that he has kuna ile unajua ile hinting that he'll be vying for presidency come 2027. So we have Maraga is from Kisii region, and we have Matiang'i from Kisii region. So it's like those people, two people wamenyang'anya Raila in some way upepo, ama wamenyang'anya nguvu pale Kisii County. Tuko na Caleb Amisi. Ahoila go amesema, I don't blame Raila Odinga at all. I blame those who have consistently refused to vote for him 5 times. He has presented himself on the ballot. He is a human being, not an angel. Let's leave Baba to rest and let youths go to the street and continue the fight for a better Kenya. It's obnoxious to continue blaming him. It only shows how weak you are and how dependent you are on him.
Interesting comment there from MP Caleb Amisi. Well, he might be having that mindset as a result of what happened in the year 2022. You can remember how vigorous, how aggressive the campaign was in the year 2022.
Yeah.
You can remember that, and how there was a lot of talk around Raila Amolo Odinga, a lot of insults around Raila Amolo Odinga, and why he shouldn't be voted in. So I don't think that it's good for the people, the same people. You see a person like Rigathi Gachagua, Sometimes I look at this man and I'm like, I remember what Eric Latif said, that right now he now puts himself as the high priest of good politics in this country. And you remember he was involved in actually almost killing the members of the ODM party in the year 2022 during the elections, not during the elections, but during the ODM demonstrations. And he was working with the police and working towards ensuring that these leaders who are in the ODM party who are leading demonstrations were taken to custody, but they never found the likes of Raila Molo Odinga. Now, when I listen to what Rigathi is saying, and now he is now outing President Ruto for who it really is and blaming him because he's a man who was told to do things that were not right. I really can't believe him. I can't. Absolutely not. Because the way he conducted himself ever since he stepped into the government is somebody who is worth not to be trusted. Let him remain to be a kingmaker, but Gen Z is out there. Please look for a leader that you can trust, a leader who will take care of your interests, a leader who will do your bidding, not just anybody who is speaking tribal rhetoric. He was spewing a lot of tribal rhetoric, and so he needs to own up to his character, and he needs to change. If Rigathi Gachagua, maybe he could be a kingpin in the gamer community, but he needs to think of how he's going to ensure that there is nationalism, even as he wants the Kenyans to drain the swamp come year 2027.
Yeah, so we have someone like Martha Karua saying that we cannot keep speculating, right? Speculating right now, Raila has one leg in government and one in opposition. It is untenable and against the law. He has to make up his mind together with his party, either be inside by forming a post-election coalition or be outside with the opposition. That's the ultimatum that Martha Karua has made to Raila Odinga. And according to this coalition, maybe I can say agreement with between Raila Odinga and Ruto. Will he still maintain that he is still in opposition? He will be in opposition still and or in government? Before proceed, kuna two comments. Kuna comments hapa. Gilbert Chepkonya anasema mimi niko na furaha yangu yote, of course, and Richard Omolo anasema this is what we call political game. Raila's political password is opening different way. And tuko na Johnson Kamau anasema Ruto itabidi uheshimu Raila maishani mwako. Huyo mzee anastahili kuheshimiwa hadi kaburi lake. Okay, thank you for your comment. So even there's that sentiment by Martha Karua, and earlier today also we saw Kasamueli. The people call him Kasamueli, but it's Kasmuel Makoure. And anasema we agree on issues, we disagree on the approach. All of us want good governance. If we reduce this country to the hatred of President Ruto, it will be the surest win for him in 2027 because he has proven he rises against the odds. I would trust Ruto over Gachagua.
That's Kasmuel Makoure.
So what do you think about do you think that according to his statement, I can read that he's trying to say that the hatred that we are giving Ruto is the one that will propel him to the presidency come 2027 still, which according to me is not true. Remember the times of President Moi, the hatred that people had towards Moi in the 2002 elections, and people ended up winning over President Moi. So I don't think these are an honest move. I think right now he's just playing on the tune of Raila, since right now is the Youth League president in ODM. It's Kasmuel Makoure. So I don't think I don't see a situation where Kasmuel Makoure will say anything that is against what Raila Odinga is standing for right now.
Completely.
It's like now what the master is saying, that's what we go with it as his followers.
Yep.
Yeah, so we remember that during the times of the Gen Z protests, the way he used to be vocal against President Ruto's government,
Yep.
and now making this statement.
Well, he is learning the way of politics.
Okay.
Yes. So politics is a game of having no permanent enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say something about what Martha Karua said.
Mm-hmm.
That he's saying that it is untenable for the ODM party or for Raila Amolo Odinga to have one foot in the government
Mm-hmm.
and have one foot in the opposition. So he needs to make up his mind so the Kenyan people can see where he is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I remember there is one individual, he's a law student who was being interviewed
Yeah.
by Jeff Koinange, and he made a very interesting statement because it was the young people who were being interviewed at the time, and they were being asked about Raila Amolo Odinga and the AUC bid and why he lost and all that.
Okay.
And then one of the panelists, Jeff Koinange, asked the young people. I remember the Siasa Place CEO was there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And also a lady who works in the youth for the government was also there. Then Kasmuel Makore was there. And this other young man was a law student.
Mm-hmm.
And he made a very interesting remark. Kasmuel Makore was asked, is ODM or is Raila Amolo Odinga in the government? And he said, and he actually asked Jeff Koinange, where are the papers that show that Raila Amolo Odinga is in the government? He's not in the government. Mm-hmm. Well, this other individual, the law student who was there as a panelist, mm-hmm. this is what he said, and I quote, ODM party
Mm-hmm.
is not in the government de jure.
Meaning?
ODM party is in the government de facto. De jure means according to rightful entitlement or claim by right. Mm-hmm. It means that ODM party was not voted in as the government. So that means ODM is not in government de jure. Mm-hmm. Right? He's a law student. And he also said ODM party is in the government de facto, meaning that right now it is by fact. Facts are out there that the government has included ODM by having the likes of Joho, mm-hmm. having the likes of Mbadi, mm-hmm. having the likes of who is this other minister? Wandai.
And Oparanya.
And Oparanya. They are that is by fact. So ODM is in the government de jure, is not in the government de jure. Mm-hmm. ODM is in the government de facto.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's an interesting turn of events, because right now it's like the tides are rising very fast. The tides are rising very fast, considering that the Gen Z protest was just like the other day. Mm-hmm. And there is that thing that you said about now Raila Odinga teaching the Gen Zs on how to claim for their rights. You understand? So my question is, how can you teach some people to protect themselves from something or from someone? And then you go join that person that you have taught people to fight. That's interesting. Like this issue is not maybe making sense. And kuna hii rumor pia imekuwa ikitrend. The people have been talking about there is a person at Bunge la Mwananchi was saying that Raila Odinga has never been interested to be president of the Republic of Kenya. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like considering all we have there is this election that evaded in 1997. He's always saying that that election was the one that it was defeated fairly. And then now we have the 2007, with the 2017, and the 2007, 2013, 2017, and now the 2022. Amesema hizo elections zote hajakuwa akishindwa fairly, so that means that he saw a possibility of him becoming president. And I always say that the perfect time for Raila Odinga becoming president was in 2002. If indeed someone like Raila wanted to be a life president in Kenya, it would have been 2002. You understand? Because according to me, I see Raila Odinga won the love of Kenyans a long time ago, and people are saying that you'll make a good president, and other people are saying that the only way you could destroy the opposition, the ODM party so far, or to destroy Raila, was making him president. Once you become president, after retire kuwa president, you become unpopular. We see, tumeona mtu kama so far, mtu kama Uhuru, as much as he's trying to be relevant, in some way he has no much say of what wananchi should do. You understand? His influence may reduce as a politician comparing to when he was vying to be president, or he expressed interest to become a president, or before he became president. Do you think that is true?
I don't think that is true. I think the essence of having a political party is to acquire power, right? Now, we have had Uhuru Kenyatta. He was in the opposition, right?
Yeah.
Then he became the president. Then we have Ruto, who was forced to be in the opposition by Uhuru. Now he became president. Raila Amolo Odinga has been very consistent in running for 5 times. Do you think that running 5 times and losing is an easy feat? That means that there is a lot that people can learn from the failure of Raila Amolo Odinga. Raila Amolo Odinga, in those 5 scenarios that he has run for presidency, he has been consistent in gaining love and in gaining popularity as a person who fights for the Kenyan people. He has gained popularity as the people's president. Those who have been allied to Raila Amolo Odinga those 5 times and have been consistently voting for him as the president, they have always called him as the people's president. Yeah, we see that the grand announcement is about to be made.
Yeah, so anytime.
So I think the fact that he has lost, that has made him, the failure has actually made him to become the person that he is. He's growing stronger and stronger. And as much as he is still allied to his ideals and his interests, it's going to be interesting to see how the next few days, months, or years will fold out for Raila Amolo Odinga, who is now in his evening years. Let's wait and see.
And do you think maybe kama angekuwa president,
well, if you work for the Kenyan people and ensure that they get the results that they've always wanted to see, like kuna pesa mfukoni, that the SMEs are taken care of, that free primary education, it becomes a reality, the way Kibaki made free primary education to become a reality, and universal healthcare is brought to light, and it becomes a reality to the Kenyan people, not only in Nairobi but also in all parts of the country. And to ensure that those who have small businesses, like small medium enterprises, can get loans and can actually boost their businesses, and procurement processes are streamlined, and the economy, there is money circulation in the economy in a manner that the young people can actually get out of the universities and start their own startups and make money, and have young people given the opportunity to lobby for their needs and to get jobs, create jobs, having young people to create jobs for themselves through the enabled environments such as infrastructure and electricity and energy, and having all those things on the ground, then the government cannot provide jobs as they promised, but they can create an enabling environment for the youths to thrive by ensuring that roads and infrastructure is there, that there is energy, that there is internet, that there is a free primary education, that there is world-class healthcare, that they ensure that everything that people need to survive is a reality. So I think that if we have a president who can actually make that a reality, then that president can run for 2 terms non-stop. 2 terms non-stop, and we might even have Kenyans clamoring and saying, no, we want this president to run for the next 10 years as well, because he has done a great job. But till then, we are yet to see such a president. And Raila Amolo Odinga was almost a president of this country, but he never got the chance to be. Will 2027 be the time for him to be? That remains to be seen. We are still in 2025, and we're still waiting to see whether he's going to work with Ruto or whether he's going to work as a separate legal entity. The grand announcement is what we're waiting for. This is Lightcast TV. My name is Ninja Lawar Collect. Thank you for watching. For those of you who are watching on Facebook, kindly like, share, and give us a comment on what you think about this grand announcement between Ruto and Raila. So many thoughts out there. Richard Omolo says, this is what we call political game. Raila's political password is opening different way. Johnston Kamau anasema Ruto, itabidi uheshimu Raila maishani mwako. Huyo mzee anastahili kuheshimiwa hadi kaburi lake. This is Ninja Lawar in Lightcast TV, and on the screens right now, yes, we can see the members of the ODM party and also members of the government working together to ensure that this joint grand announcement is a success. And we are waiting with bated breath to see what these 2 principles, the government leader, President Ruto, and the ODM party leader, Raila Amolo Odinga, what do we expect?
Yeah, so kuna comment hapo as we proceed. Kuna Donald Elhaji Diop anasema live from Chester House, Nairobi. Thank you. Tuko na Richard Rotich anasema following live. Yeah, so those are the live pictures hapo KICC before the official starting of the event. Just a preparation here and there. Maybe they are waiting for the top officials. We can see flags from both UDA and ODM, and then pia national flag hapo katikati. Hiyo kumaanisha it's happening.
Is it?
Yeah, it's happening. Yeah, so that means that maybe it's happening. The 50-50 deal maybe is happening, because we have never seen a flag of ODM and UD on the same place,
On the same podium.
apart from maybe kwa ile ballot where we saw the during the presidential elections in 2022. So those are the live pictures. We can just have a listen on what's happening as we continue with the analysis. You can just listen in kwa kitu inaendelea kwa ground, and you can also tell us where you're watching the live from, and also follow us on Facebook and YouTube at Lightcast TV Kenya. Yeah, not much, and thank you very much for tuning in. Not much is going on, just preparations.
A question. Do you think Baba is always right?
No. Baba is not always right. We have Kipkoech Jonathan anasema this will bring cohesion, unity to the nation. So this begs a question. There's this comment. It begs a question of, do we really need unity in Kenya right now? Are Kenyans united? Are Kenyans are Kenyans fighting with among themselves?
Not really. I think the fight here is very, very ideological. And the fight here is about ensuring that the manifesto of the Kenya Kwanza, the bottom-up economic agenda, is fulfilled. And we have seen that has not happened according to the ground. If you go to Northeastern, if you go to Mount Kenya, if you go to parts of Luo, Nyanza, to Kisii, if you go to the coastal region, the allied Raila strongholds is divided into two, actually. We have diehard Raila supporters, and we have supporters of Raila Amolo Odinga who are not happy with how Ruto is taking this country forward. And so if it means Raila Amolo Odinga will join with Ruto to form a coalition government, then probably ODM will split.
Okay.
Probably. We don't know yet.
So there's
but
this
about Sifuna and Babu Owino, if they want to get out of ODM, they'll probably use the legal way, or probably they'll talk with Baba first. And if they fall out with Baba, then they're going to make an announcement on their own.
There's this aspect of issue to do with to unite Kenyans. Right now, I don't think the politics right now is majorly heated in terms of tribal.
Yep.
I don't think it's heated in terms of tribal. Right now, what's trending among Kenyans is the high cost of living, the shares not working. I think that's what Kenyans are complaining now so much. Kenyans are not complaining that Luos are not in good terms with Kalenjin, or Gikuyas are not good terms with another tribe. I think this essence of now uniting Kenya is that's an old school thinking, and right now the Gen Zs majorly are working towards maybe becoming tribeless, becoming nini and nini. They are not concerned about tribals. So right now it's about now the Kenya Kwanza government serves the interests of Kenyans. Make sure that taxes are reduced. Make sure the Kenyans can get jobs. Make sure that Kenyans can afford afford to put a meal on their plate. You understand? Make sure that Kenyans can get a quality education. I think that those are major issues that Kenyans are fighting for so far. So I think the unity here, if at all maybe Ruto wants unity between Kenyans, unity should be between Kenyan and the government, more than Kenyans between Kenyans.
I think the issue of unity should have started in the year 2022, because the person who permeated the spirit of tribalism amongst the communities in Kenya after the elections in 2022 is Rigathi Gachagua.
No,
when
really.
He brought out the issue of you remember when he was talking about shareholding, and you will find that most of the people allied to Ruto were people of the Gema community and the Kalenjins. You remember that?
Yeah.
Those are the people he talked that he would say that the people who voted in our government are the ones of the shareholders. Nyinyi wengine mukae huko on the periphery. He said that countless times, and that is a very unacceptable statement from a statesman. He was the deputy president at that time. Why would he say such a thing? And then now he comes out here and tells us that that was what President Ruto wanted him to say. Kwani he did not have a mind of his own.
But are you sure that he wasn't being President Ruto's mouthpiece at that time?
It doesn't matter whether he was President Ruto's mouthpiece at that time. You saw how he spoke. He actually spoke with his heart. Now, wewe ukiongea hivyo, and then you remember the way he was talking to Raila Amolo Odinga as if he was his age mate. You see, the people who are allied to Raila Amolo, I can understand why they want Raila Amolo Odinga to actually engage with Ruto, because of the way he was treated in 2022. For the past 2 years, Raila Amolo Odinga has been amekuwa akidharauliwa sana, and so I think Luos are also angry. They don't trust the Gema people because of the way they waliwatusi and the things that was said about them, and then the tribal rhetoric. To have a politician like Rigathi Gachagua, who was the deputy president then, spewing tribal rhetoric on national television. Can you imagine that? That was completely unacceptable, and that is exactly why he was impeached.
Okay.
Yes.
According to me, because you remember he came
But
out.
right now, I can say that the issue here is not about cohesion. Now that you people who supported Ruto, when the people who were supporting Raila Amolo Odinga told you that Ruto is not the man you think it is, you went ahead to cast aspersions on Raila Amolo Odinga. And now Raila Amolo Odinga wants maybe to rectify and put technicalities on Ruto's government to ensure that the Kenyan people have what they need in matters to do with the balance in the economy, ensuring that there is a proper education system, ensuring that is proper healthcare system, ensuring that the SMEs are funded, and to ensure that corruption is nipped in the bud. Well, the Luos are angry. The people who are allied to Raila Amolo Odinga, they have voted for him vehemently, but then Raila did not get it. But well, what can I say? The issue right now, people who voted for Ruto have now known him for who he really is, and now they're clamoring for Ruto must go. Well, I guess they have learned the hard way.
You remember the time that Gachagua came out and said that his statement was trying to defend his statement, his Mulima statement, saying that even someone like Mudavadi and Wetangula, they had signed an agreement and said that if at all Kenya Kwanza manages to clinch the government, they will have the speaker seat, and Mudavadi will have the prime CS seat, and we also had him mention something about Kingi, and saying like Kingi signed just for himself. So from the word go, this was more tribal, even without them, without someone like Wetangula coming and saying that which is the Ende Western, which is the Ende Western, which is the Ende Western. You see, signing is the same as declaring. You understand? So about that agreement between the Ruto and Mudavadi and Wetangula, it was the same as what Gachagua was saying. But now the form of communication here is the one that in a different kiasi. So I see a situation where maybe someone like Rigathi Gachagua was used by Ruto, and Ruto didn't like Gachagua from the word go, and he saw that wacha nifurahisha watu wenye wanaweza nisaidia na pesa, watanisaidia kuleta numbers kwa space yangu, and then after this nitafute tu excuse ya kutoa Rigathi Gachagua. I think that's the plot here.
Well, be that as it may, Ruto created a monster out of Rigathi Gachagua. Look how Rigathi Gachagua has become the epitome of Mount Kenya right now. People are now talking about Rigathi Gachagua being the high priest of good politics, like Eric Latif would say. It's interesting. Politics is a very dirty game. And if you are in it, then you have to have the nerves of steel and have to have a thick skin.
Yeah, we have Larry Maina anasema Raila's stroke Ruto is a game changer. Kudos to the two patriots. Kumi bila break.
Do you remember even after Rigathi Gachagua was ejected from government? You remember there was a time when he was talking on the podium in the Gema community, and he said even the choice that we had was unacceptable to the community. Can you imagine? He said that Raila Amolo Odinga is unacceptable to the Kikuyu community. What does that tell you? Do you think that the old war between the Kikuyu and Luo will ever end?
Sometimes it's not maybe the fight isn't really, I cannot say it's about politics. I think it started way back about maybe that story maybe started way back even.
There is a very public statement, and people had it, and people will not forget. And so I think politicians need to check what they speak in front of people, because you will be held accountable, and the internet does not forget.
Okay.
Yes, so I think politicians pia wamekuwa na a lot of chest thumping. They are just wanaongea tu vile wanajisikia. This element of leadership in the constitution of chapter 6, I don't think it's being taken seriously by the Kenyan politicians. I think it's about time that the politicians in this country are held accountable according to the chapter 6 of leadership and integrity.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for tuning. Nimeona kuna mwingine anasema, Vincent Mathenge anasema Ruto 10 bila break. Hiyo ni comment yake hapo. And if you are watching us on Facebook, kindly follow Lightcast TV Kenya on Facebook. You can also cross over to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel Lightcast TV Kenya. Na pia kama uko YouTube pia unaweza like hii video, pia utusaidia kushare. Pia we also have a TikTok account at Lightcast TV Kenya. You can support us by following Lightcast TV Kenya on TikTok. And you can tell us what do you think about today's announcement by Raila and Ruto. What do you expect to happen? Do you think
we see Olekina there?
Yeah, tuko na Olekina amearrive hapo. And yesterday we saw a statement Olekina make. He endorsed that moment, and he said that Raila Odinga should not stop his ambition for joining Ruto's government or working with Ruto's government. And he said that kama approve your move. And tunamwona hapa amearrive. We are here to see. And yesterday we saw Sifuna also was in a meeting with other ODM members during Raila Odinga consultative meeting with ODM Nairobi officials at the KICC. And we see someone like Sifuna was against this move. I don't know if it's managed to change his position. And
that one remains to be seen. You see, he is acting as the Secretary General of the party, and so as the SG, then probably we'll have to wait it out and see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we also saw the likes of George Aladwa. You see, George Aladwa and Sifuna, they wamekuwa wakitusiana ama kurushiana cheche za maneno. Like Aladwa saying that those who don't want Raila to join Ruto, sijui inafaa atoke kwa party waende huko.
He has no right to do that.
And others are saying, and Sifuna hapa akisema ati mimi siwezi forsiwa kufanya vitu zingine. Unajua I have my own right to speak na vitu kaa hizo.
Exactly.
And kuna the other faction saying that people should respect ODM party leadership. So there was an interesting turn of event.
Yeah, it's only Raila Amolo Odinga who can bring peace in that party. Au wengine wacha waongee, lazima watarushiana maneno. And then ujue watu ambao wanaingia hapo kwa ODM, kuna wenye wanataka to win the heart ama to seem to have the favor of Raila Amolo Odinga. They just want to be in his good books.
Okay.
Yes. So you know how the human nature works.
And we saw someone we saw Aladwa avoid going to that 20th anniversary celebration that ODM had in Busia. He wasn't. He didn't attend. Maybe he wasn't ready to be with his Sifuna on one platform. I don't know today if things will be different. We're just waiting and see.
Politicians ni politicians too, ni wale. You might find them casting aspersions on each other
Okay.
on the media, but behind closed doors wanacheka, we ulini au kuniambia vizuri na sijakasirika, sijasikia vibaya.
Tuko na Charlie Tozo Black anasema politics ni game mbaya kwa Citizen 10 bila break. Na adiko imeanza sasa, mimi chama yangu ni Mungu. Okay. Asante sana for your comment, na pia kwa wale wengine wenye wanatu watch on both platforms, thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Martin.
And Ninja Lawor Collect.
Yeah, just waiting upon the situation kwa ground hapo. We're just waiting for maybe President Ruto to arrive together with Raila Odinga to arrive at the KICC where the meeting, the announcement is expected to be made. We'll just see hapo people just sharing some lights moment hapo, and something that may stand out hapo, we can see the flag for both UDA na ODM ziko side by side hapo kwa podium, which is something that is interesting, and is sending a message that something big is yet to be unveiled today. So you can tell us what you think. If this agreement comes to pass, will it benefit you as a Kenyan, or just the same narratives politicians wamekuwa wakiendeleza? So you can tell us where you're watching, and also tusaidia kwa kushare the video. Yeah, isaidia ifikia watu wengi as we wait for this moment. Also we have Kindiki. Kindiki has just arrived at Kindiki has just arrived at the KICC ahead of President Ruto Raila political pact. There, Kindiki has just arrived. Yeah, that is Kindiki. Kindiki arrives at the KICC ahead of President Ruto Raila Odinga political pact. Yeah, there. So those are like pictures from the KICC. The Deputy President Kithure Kindiki is just arriving at the KICC for the Raila Odinga and Ruto political pact signing. The event is starting officially. The event is now starting officially. Thank you very much for tuning in to Lightcast TV as we look at what's going on right now on the screens.
creation. Blessed is our land and nation. Justice be our shield and defender. May we dwell in unity, peace and liberty. Plenty be found within our borders. You may kindly take your seats. Unfortunately, I don't know how to sing the East African National Anthem. But because this is a party affair, na leo hii ndio mimi nimekubali baba ni baba ya kila mtu kweli. Now, allow me to request the two Secretary Generals, the distinguished senator, the former senator, but actually still a senator, the SG Omar Hassan, to be able to come in front. I would also request SG Edwin Sifuna, Senator, CBS. You may clap again. Very good. All right. All right, thank you. Now listen. You know, mimi nimwambia baba ni baba ya nani? Kila mtu. Na sasa ukiona SG amesimama hapa, tumpigie baba makofi. Ama namna gani? Now, Bwana SG, this is a very important function for us. And I'm going to request. Can you please get the statement? Sifuna, CBS, to be able to read the first 5 stanzas, and then you can be able to, paragraphs, and then I can invite the crowd.
Thank you, Senator Ledama. Your Excellencies, the President, I've been requested to pause. Can I proceed, Your Excellencies? Okay.
Thank you very much. Mwambia baba ni baba ya kila mtu. So baba akisema fanya hivi lazima mfanye hivyo. I think all of you know where we've come from. Today is a very important day for all of us, because the unity of this country is greater than the interests of any of us. And when you see me standing here, it means a lot to me. But I've decided to follow the footsteps of our two very distinguished and eminent leaders in this republic, to be able to bring the entire country together so that we can do away with a constant fight. So today, from the wisdom of His Excellency, President William Ruto, and His Excellency, Right Honorable Prime Minister, they have sat down together and agreed that it's about time for us to end all these bickering, all these fights, and put this country first. Will be able to remember this occasion. It has taken a lot, trust me, but patience is everything. I actually never thought that I'll be standing here today to be able to usher in my two SGs. Unajua rungu yangu ilivunjika bwana. Lakini mbele, it's the most important. Unajua mali ilivunjika Junet. But today we are here to sign, or the two leaders will be signing an expression of interest to work together. It is imperative that we all find areas that we can be able to work together, and I believe that the details will be provided with you in time. So without wasting so much time, let me now take this opportunity to invite the distinguished senator from Nairobi, SG Edwin Sifuna, CBS, to be able to read the first 5 paragraphs. And I would kindly request you to actually remain silent so that you can internalize and you can be able to demystify the meaning of this agreement. To actually remain silent so that you can internalize.
Thank you, Senator Ledama, Your Excellency the President, Your Excellency Prime Minister Raila Odinga, Your Excellency the Deputy President, all leaders present here, all protocols observed. My name is Edwin Sifuna. I am the Senator of Nairobi, and I am standing here in my capacity as the Secretary General of the Orange Democratic Movement. Your Excellency, in the capacity as SG, I have certain constitutional duties, and that is why I'm standing here to execute those duties in accordance with the Constitution of ODM. We have taken the liberty to read out this Memorandum of Understanding so that we are all clear on what it is and what it is not. We are all clear on what it is and what it is not. As SG, I want to confirm that this document has been processed through the relevant party organs. And Your Excellency, I have here in this room members of the party's central committee who I'll just request to stand up so that they confirm that this is a decision of an organ of the party. Please stand up if you're a member of the central committee of ODM. Thank you very much. You may be seated. We are going to take turns with my counterpart to read out this MOU. It is titled Memorandum of Understanding to Resolve the Social, Economic and Political Challenges Facing Kenya 2025. Realizing that Kenya has gone through a long period of political crisis and conflict that has hampered the nation's potential for development and improving the livelihoods of our people. Noting that such crises have often resulted into demonstrations by our people demanding their rights, with the state often resulting to brutal suppression of such demonstrations that unfortunately lead to loss of life as well as property. Acknowledging that the nation will not develop without reinforcing democratic governance and the rule of law, conscious that the decay in democratic governance is expressed through skewed allocation of resources, ethnic intolerance and marginalization, corruption, and noting that devolution, though intended to strengthen democratic governance and development at the grassroots, is systematically undermined and starved of funds. Now, therefore, His Excellency President Dr. William Samoei Ruto, CGH, and the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, EGH, being the party leaders of the largest political parties in Kenya and bearing the greatest political responsibility, acknowledge the need in setting up a broad platform for collaboration and cooperation between all political forces and other stakeholders in the Kenyan society to address these long-standing challenges that threaten our nationhood. As a first step towards this collaboration, His Excellency President Dr. William Samoei Ruto, CGH, and the Right Honorable Raila Odinga did set up the National Dialogue Committee in the year 2023 and hereby make this resolution on the initiatives that must be undertaken to instill further confidence in the country. While this memorandum does not define the formation of a political coalition between the respective political parties, its successful implementation will inform the basis of steps towards the establishment of a progressive and stable country. Now, therefore, the two leaders commit and resolve to collaborate and cooperate with each other by conducting broad-based consultations between themselves on the key issues identified below. Number one, the full implementation of the National Dialogue Committee report, the NADCO report. Priority issues in the NADCO process, like the cost of living, youth unemployment, establishing a framework for the implementation of the 2/3 gender rule, have been the topics of discussion for far too long and now must be actualized. Number two, inclusivity in all spheres of public life. Kenya belongs to all persons, regardless of their ethnicity, religion, generation, or geographic location. All Kenyans are equal and all are entitled to an equitable budgetary resource allocation and opportunities in public appointments. Further, though the Constitution of Kenya is clear on the rights of minorities and the marginalized people in the country, not enough has been done almost 15 years later to uphold these rights by fully implementing the provisions of the Constitution. Third, protecting and strengthening devolution. Devolution must continue to be protected from any possibility of clawback on devolved functions, and more effort must be put at devolving all funds allocated to a devolved function, increasing budgetary allocation to counties, and ensuring the timely and predictable disbursement of devolved funds. Your Excellencies, allow me to now invite my counterpart, the Secretary General of UDA, the Honorable Hassan Omar, Senator, to continue with the rest of the document. I thank you.
Your Excellency the President, Your Excellency the Prime Minister, Your Excellency the Deputy President, Your Excellency the Chair of UDA. Like my brother Sifuna, I can confirm that UDA has also processed this document through the necessary protocols that are established by our Constitution. Present here is the National Steering Committee, which is chaired by His Excellency the President, who I will not ask to stand. There's also the National Executive Committee of the UDA. Can you please rise for recognition? And we also have the UDA Party Parliamentary Group that is also present in this auspicious occasion. I will proceed from where my brother Sifuna left. Number 4, promoting and protecting the livelihoods of young people. Urgent and massive investment must be made in all high potential sectors of the economy, including mining, blue economy, agriculture, and ICT, to create sufficient employment opportunities that provide ways for young people to earn a decent living. Nationwide economic stimulus programs must therefore be initiated. Young people must also be mainstreamed in all political spaces to bring their voices to the table and in their participation to the center of all activities. Number 5, leadership and integrity. Kenyans are concerned by the expression of opulence, accompanied by rude and arrogant conduct of public officers, and the apparent impunity that has followed the same. It must be enforced that the demeanor of public servants needs to reflect the dignity of their offices and the respect owed by them to the citizens of the Republic of Kenya. We must also urgently provide a legal and institutional framework for addressing conflicts of interest among public servants. Number 6, the right to peaceful assembly and protest under Article 37 and compensation of all pending claims of abuse and derogation of their rights. Derogation of the rights to peaceful assembly and protest remains one of the most shameful realities of the excesses of the Kenya's law and order responses since independence. The effort to uphold this right must now involve not just the taking of responsibility by officers who break the law, but also by compensation of the victims of these derogations. An amnesty must be granted to all those who are charged for offenses based on the exercise of their right to peaceful assembly. The National Police Service must update their methods and processes of dealing with demonstrations and assemblies when they are held, and particularly when they have to be managed or contained. 7, the national debt. The urgent audit must be conducted of how much has been borrowed in the past and how it has been used. Going forward, we must stop the ballooning of the national debt and ensure accountability for future borrowing. Lastly, we must ensure that borrowed money is used in all manners that grants an equitable benefit to all Kenyans in every region of the country, since payments are made by all from taxes regardless of their locations. Number 8, the fight against corruption. Kenya needs to move from talk to action. We must move from the fight against corruption to winning the war against corruption. We must enhance the capacity of institutions that enforce accountability, and particularly the offices of the Auditor General, the Controller of Budget, and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. 9, stopping wastage of public resources and promoting government efficiency. A new ethos of public expenditure in both national and county governments must be inculcated in a manner that promotes austerity, justification, and effectiveness in the use of public resources. Number 10, protecting and promoting the sovereignty of the people, the rule of law, and constitutionalism. The rule of law requires that government and its officers to obey court orders and only challenge the validity of judicial pronouncements through legal processes. The spectre of abductions and extrajudicial killings do not bode well for democracy. Suppression of constitutional freedoms, including speech, expression, assembly, and media, must stop. Furthermore, political parties, being key pillars of democratic participation, must be strengthened. The two leaders resolve to respect the identity and integrity of all political parties and to ensure respect and implementation of the provisions of the Political Parties Act. The dialogue and collaboration between the two leaders shall achieve its objectives by A, holding regular consultations on pressing issues of interest to the people of Kenya, B, exchanging expertise and information on the best practices in governance and of the Republic of Kenya. Let me read that again. Exchanging expertise and information on best practices in the governance of the Republic of Kenya, and the two leaders shall deploy their political infrastructure to examine the above matters and any other issues requiring their attention, and shall engage necessary expertise that will assist them in addressing the matters arising. Signed, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, CGH, Party Leader of the UDA, and also to be signed by His Excellency the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, EGH, Party Leader of the Orange Democratic Movement, on the 24th day of March 2025.
Let us appreciate the two distinguished senators. And now, before I call my co-MC, may I request that the table be brought here. We have the dates. It's 7th of March. But you'll be able to see it actually. Before I call my co-MC, the majority leader, can I please request that table and seat to be brought here so that the two leaders can be able to come and sign. And now allow me to hand over the mic to my co-MC, a man I couldn't see eye to eye, but now I'm seeing eye to eye, Kimani Ichung'wah, to take over from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my co-MC, Senator Ledama. Your Excellency, as the stage is set, as my co-MC, Senator Ledama, has said, we are here to witness as you and His Excellency Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga sign this MOU, which forms a framework of how we will work together as the two largest political parties. Your Excellency, as we've been told, you and His Excellency the Prime Minister are leaders of the two largest political parties in the country. That means, Your Excellency, that you also bear a greater responsibility than any other political parties or political leaders in the country. And with that responsibility, Your Excellency, you and Prime Minister are expected to bear the responsibility Thank you, Excellency. Your Excellency, I was saying, because you are leading the two largest political parties in the country, you also bear a greater responsibility to Kenyans and to the world. And part of that great responsibility is to ensure the unity of our country and the prosperity of our country. And as we have heard from the two SGs of the political parties, this will form a framework for the cooperation of you two as leaders of those parties and the unity of our country led by the two political parties, the two largest political parties. Your Excellency, I will be inviting those who will be flanking you and the Prime Minister as we sign, as I also try to buy some time for the Secretariat to get organized a bit. And I will be asking that the leaders who will be flanking you as you sign, I will invite them to stage, and thereafter, after the signing ceremony, we will ask all the leaders that are invited up here to retreat back to their seats, and I will then invite just a few people to speak, led by the chairs of the two political parties. And Your Excellencies, you know that these two largest and national political parties, ODM and UDA, are also led and have chairs who are ladies. And that has ensured that even as you've heard from the MOU, as we try to mainstream the 2/3 gender rule, these are the only political parties that have begun the mainstreaming of getting our women leaders mainstreamed in our political leadership. Without much ado, Your Excellency, allow me, since I have the SGs here, to invite the two chairs, Governor, Your Excellency Governor Gladys Wanga, and Your Excellency Cecily Mbarire, our two chairs. Allow me also to invite the parliamentary leadership in the Senate. I see the Honorable Ledama already on stage representing Honorable Madzayo. Let me invite Senator Aaron Cheruyot, the leader of the majority in the Senate. I am already on stage, so I will invite the Honorable Junet Mohammed, my compatriot and colleague in the National Assembly. Allow me also to invite the acting party leader of ODM and governor for Kisumu, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, to the stage. And also invite the deputy party leader and deputy president, Professor Kithure Kindiki, on stage. Once you are all settled, Professor, you go to the other side. Professor Kithure Kindiki, Deputy President, to the right. You can also see these two largest political parties are the only parties with professors in their leadership and have women chairs. It is now my singular honor to invite the Right Honorable Prime Minister, His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, Baba wa kila mtu, to stage. Another loud of applause for Baba wa kila mtu. Now finally to invite His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya and the party leader of UDA to the stage. The Secretary Generals of the two political parties, you will take the documents and please, you may take your seats. The two SGs, you will show our party leaders the pages to sign. A hand of applause to the two party leaders as the two Secretary Generals confirm that they have fully signed, together with our legal personnel, Wakili Paul Mwangi and Wakili Kamodho Adrian. I will now invite the two Secretary Generals to display the closed copies of the memorandum that have been signed. Just in front there. You can open the first page, SG. There. Just open the front page and display for a photo session. Front page. Front page. A hand of applause. I will now ask Your Excellencies to be the first to take your seats. Or they sit here. Then, if you have no seat, you may take your seats. If you have no seat on stage. For those without seats on stage, you may take your seats. Your Excellencies, as we were requested, we will try to be very quick. I will now want to invite the chairperson of the ODM party to make her very brief remarks.
Your Excellency, President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency Dr. William Ruto, Your Excellency Right Honorable Prime Minister and my party leader, Raila Odinga, all protocols observed. Your Excellency the Deputy President. The unity and stability of this country and the prosperity is not the responsibility of a few. It's the responsibility of all of us as a nation. And while we may have different political persuasions and come from different parts of the country and different schools of thought, nobody can fault unity. Nobody can fault equity. Nobody can fault not leaving anyone behind. Nobody can fault bringing this entire country together and making everybody in this country feel a part of this country. And that is why today this unity effort is appreciated. And I'd like to state it from my own school of thought, that this unity that you have put together today, Your Excellency and my party leader, is not about the two of you. Because Baba here has seen it all. In fact, he has enough for his and all generations. His Excellency the President has sat on all positions. So in my thinking, this unity is for the young people of this country. It's for all of us. It's for the women. It's for the marginalized. It's for those Kenyans who have felt like they have never been part of Kenya because have always been left behind. And let me state in conclusion, as the national chairman of the ODM party, and as I say, the largest party south of Sahara and north of River Limpopo, the ODM party, our party leader, and on behalf of this party, officials and members across the country, all 47 branches, we are behind this unity, we are behind this agreement, we will support it, we will support the broad-based arrangement, na tuko pamoja mpaka mwisho. Asante and God bless Kenya.
Thank you, Governor Wanga. It's now my pleasure to invite my party chair and the governor for Embu, Honorable Sisi Limbarire, on stage.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, who is also the party leader of the UDA party, Your Excellency, Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, who is also the party leader of the ODM party, our Deputy President, all protocols observed. It is a great pleasure to be part of this historic event. I want to begin by saying that today we are reminded yet again that the nation will always remain bigger than our individual and party interests. That indeed, at no time will our individual and party interests become more important than those of the nation. I am happy that today, after a lot of rumors in the media, we are not signing an agreement behind closed doors in some private space. I'm also happy that it has taken serious consultations through the party structures to get to where we are. I'm equally happy that we have not signed a document that remains a secret to the people who we represent and who matter most. Today, Kenyans know what we have signed up to. Today, we are not signing to sharing positions. We are signing to issues that affect our people. So, we have today told the people of Kenya that it is not about positions, that actually the issues that have been bedeviling this country are the most critical issues that should bring us together. But more importantly, this signing for me means a lot. Because what does it mean to me? That going forward, we are no longer going to organize our politics at the regional level. We are no longer going to organize our politics at the tribal level. We are going to organize our politics around issues that affect our people. And therefore, this indeed is a great moment. I want to really congratulate the two party leaders, because you could have decided to stick to your hardline positions and decide you are the tough guys, but you realized how important your decisions are to the nation. To the politicians out there who are still stuck to regionalism, we are telling them nationalism is bigger than regionalism. To the leaders out there that believe belonging to the minority means you have no voice, we are telling you today the minority too have a voice in this great nation. To the leaders out there who continue to draw us back to where we come from, we are telling them we are moving forward as one united Kenya. Long live Kenya, long live the ODM party, and long live the UDA party. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our party chair. Is now my honor to invite the acting party leader of ODM and governor for Kisumu, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, who I also fondly refer to as old boy, not because he's older than me, but because we went to the same school.
It is called the Alliance High School. For those who do not know. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Hallelujah. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the President, William Samoei Ruto, and my party leader, Raila Odinga. I will not say much. The two ladies have said it all. But there is a Christian saying that goes that once to every man and nation comes a moment to decide. Then it is the brave man chooses while the coward stands aside. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. We see here two brave men who at this point in time in Kenya's history have decided to make an important decision. We must pray for them. It is not going to be easy. Your bed is not made of roses. It is made of thorns. And the thorns are these people here. Not you individually, but you as a collective. Why? Because this decision is going to lead to a lot of demands. Because it might produce results. And those results will not be easy to produce. And therefore I'm saying here that it's us collectively who are present here today to witness this great occasion, to go out there and support the two brave men. Once to every man and nation comes a moment to decide. Then it is the brave man chooses, while the coward stands aside. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor Nyong'o. Your Excellencies, that is it in terms of our party chairs and our party leaders, and mine now just to invite our deputy party leader and deputy president to invite you and take over as MC from now onwards. And Your Excellency, as you have been told, this framework for cooperation is a cooperation not just for the unity of our country, but also to synergize our strengths as the two largest political parties in this country, and for the prosperity of all the people of Kenya, all without excluding anyone. Thank you very much, and now my honor to invite the Deputy President, the other professor, Professor Kithure Kindiki, who for the record also attended the same school with the governor for Mombasa and the governor for Nairobi.
And Kimani Ichung'wah was in the other school. Your Excellencies, William Ruto and Raila Odinga, my task is to moderate the last and remaining part of this event. As I do that, allow me, Your Excellencies, to say two things. The first is to say I am a proud Kenyan to see what is happening here today, because as other speakers have said, courageous decisions are made by courageous people. Easy and flimsy decisions are made by weak people. And therefore, our coming here to witness this decision is a testament that the future of Kenya looks great, courtesy of the decisions that the two of you have made. The two of you have the largest political infrastructure in our country, by far. Between the two of you, you have the wherewithal, politically speaking, of the entire country. If you were individualistic and selfish, you would have chosen to exercise your muscles, one against the other, on opposite sides of politics. In the process, you may have succeeded in undercutting one another, but in the process, you would have succeeded a great deal in undermining the speed, efficiency of the development of our country. So I thank you, Your Excellencies, for making brave decisions, because not everyone can make those kind of decisions. Many people, even claiming to be leaders, are weak, so they make weak decisions, they make selfish decisions, they make sectarian decisions, they make decisions that only serve to their interest as opposed to the interest of society as a whole. And I dare say, Your Excellencies, that strong leaders think the nation. Weak leaders think division. Congratulations. The second and last point I want to make, Your Excellency, again, is the remarkable convergence of ideology that I see in the coming together of ODM and UDA. I have listened carefully to the joint script that was read by the two Secretary Generals, very carefully. In between, I can confirm, as a long-standing student of constitutional law, practice, and government, that between the two parties, because I could see the language from ODM, the language from UDA, the issues raised here, which we pray under your leadership jointly, you'll help us pursue them as a country. Those issues will resolve the things that have held Kenya back all this long. And therefore, those who have spent time, years, decades investing in division, investing in negative ethnicity, investing in parochial and petty dreams, their journey has come to an end. I want to thank you, Your Excellencies. We wish you well, and I know I speak on behalf of all my colleagues from both ODM and UDA. We wish you well, because if you succeed in leading us, Kenya will succeed. And therefore, I am happy, Your Excellency, and allow me now, so that we climax this event with two speeches. And I'm going to invite the first speaker, Your Excellency Raila Odinga. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Hiya. You may be seated. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, President William Ruto, who is also the party leader of UDA, leaders of the two political parties, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jambo. The ODM people here. ODM. 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 You see, wako tayari. Well, I'm very happy to stand before you here this morning to talk to you after a long period of absence. As you know, that in the last 6 months, I've been engaged in the campaign on the continental platform for the position of the chair of the African Union. Some people ask me, why did I decide to run for that position? And I say that I was approached by senior leaders on the continent who, when they saw that that position was becoming vacant, they needed somebody with a Pan-Africanist ideology to go and try to set that movement in the right path so that it can achieve the objectives for which the founding fathers formed it. So they then sent the former Nigerian president, President Obasanjo, to me to come and persuade me to run. And after a lot of soul searching, I made a decision. And some of you will have seen me with President Obasanjo on my side when I announced that I was going to run for the position of African Union chair. I did not expect to be supported by the Kenya government. But out of blues, President Ruto announced that he will support my candidature. I thought this is a better way to get rid of him. Good riddance. I would say that, in respect of the motives, he actually was genuine because he followed that announcement by giving full support to my candidature. As you know, you cannot run for the chair of African Union without being sponsored by your home government. You cannot just sit somewhere there and say, Mimi ni Professor Kithure Kindiki, I want to be a chairman of African Union. You will not even be seen. Your name must be presented by a government official through the embassy of Kenya in Addis Ababa. And this they did. Not only that, they put also the machinery behind my campaign. And Mr. President Ruto himself called various presidents and made appointments for me and also persuaded them to support my candidature. He himself invited a president from East Africa here in Nairobi to basically adopt me as a candidate for the Eastern region. And this they did. So Kenyan ambassadors in all those foreign countries were also informed and that they would support my candidature. And whenever I went to, they received me at the airport, took me to the hotels, and also took me to meet with the president. I was able to meet more than 40 presidents on the continent. And I traveled Africa from east to west, south to north, like never before. As you know that I have been the high representative of the AU on issues of infrastructure. So I'm not actually strange to these issues, to the continent. But it gave me a better opportunity to now understand problems facing many African countries firsthand from the leadership of the continent. As you know that our continent has suffered seriously from innovations from outside. First was the slave trade that took so many of able manpower across the shores to go and work in the building of Americas, both North America and South America. Some were taken to Arabia, some were incarcerated there and died there. So that was the first. Then came colonialism, where they went and set somewhere in Berlin and partitioned Africa according to their interests. British, French, Italian, Portuguese, and so on and so forth. So Africa has suffered seriously. That was colonialism. Then when Africans fought for independence, they granted it, but it was a flag. But then there was also neo-colonialism that came about, and Africa has continued to be marginalized. So I saw this and came up with a program of how we were going to deal with these issues. We campaigned strongly, and we went to Addis Ababa quite confident of victory. Before I went there, the women here, Orange women in Nairobi, organized a prayer meeting for me in Bomas of Kenya. And they prayed for my success. And I told them that they were only going to do two outcomes in Addis. One, we would win, in which case we would have succeeded. The other one, we would lose, but we would also have succeeded. Because I told them why? We will come back home. So east and or west, home is? So we are here. So when I came back, I went to meet with the president in Mombasa to thank him for the support that the government had given me during that campaign. And he was, of course, very gracious, and at that time I found when the two teams from the parties had worked out on some documents that they wanted to be signed, I told him I cannot sign the document until I've consulted our people, my people. So I took time. From that time, I went to Kisumu. I met with the professor. I met with leadership and elders in Kisumu. I went to Siaya. I went to Migori. I went to Homa Bay. I went to Busia, where I met with all the leadership from all the 5 counties in Western. Then I went to the coast. I was in Mombasa. I was in Malindi, in Kilifi. I was in Kwale. I came back. I went to Wajir. I came back. Yesterday I was in Kisii. I was in Narok. I was in Nairobi, here in this same building here with leadership of Nairobi. That is what you call random sampling. And I think I managed to get the feeling of my people, my supporters. And that's the reason why I am today able and confident to sign this document. So I want to say this, I have to note. Today, you have signed a memorandum of understanding between Orange Democratic Movement and the United Democratic Alliance. The carrier goal of the MOU is to help ease the prevailing tensions in the country, reconcile the population, alleviate their suffering, and move the country forward by addressing the critical social, political, and economic issues our people are grappling with today. As leaders of the largest political parties in the country, we arrived at the understanding that in a time of significant changes and challenges to our nation, it is not enough to merely grandstand or stand aside and criticize, easy as those may be. They say any madman can kick down a barn, but it takes a good carpenter to build one. We have agreed to help build a barn for our country, rather than merely kick down what we have. We have agreed to use our parties as a broad platform, bringing together various voices, opinions, and concerns to address the critical challenges facing the country through a formation that is truly national and inclusive in outlook. A core problem we agreed to prioritize is youth unemployment and resulting hopelessness that has made them easy fodder in political contests in which there is nothing tangible for them. In this MOU, we agree to embark on steps to realign the country's economic, social, and political priorities to address the youth agenda that has progressively fallen behind in the last 62 years of our independence. Through this MOU, we commit to uphold the Constitution, the rule of law, and respect for human rights. Importantly, we pledge to tackle unemployment, cost of living, crippling poverty, inequality, and failure of the institutions that have been eroded by inefficiency and corruption over the decades, making them unable to deliver to Kenyans. We seek a more equitable country in which all peoples of all backgrounds are included in the enjoyment of socio-economic benefits and are equal members of one indivisible nation. All Kenyans must feel that they belong here by right and the right to access, without any form of discrimination, whatever Kenya has to offer. We commit to protect and to strengthen devolution as a machinery for ensuring a more inclusive development across the country. In this regard, we will be tabling a proposal that the unbundling of functions that has been recently concluded, counties should get not less than 450 billion shillings in the 2025-2026 financial year. We will also seek the faithful flow of funds to political parties, being vehicles for the channeling of hopes and aspirations of the people. We will use this platform to revisit the constitutional provisions on leadership and integrity, corruption in public life, fundamental freedoms like free speech, protest and assembly, and preservation of the rule of law. We recognize that many of the issues this country is struggling with are as old as the country itself. It will take mutual trust between leaders and the creation of a conducive environment for them to be tackled with honesty and objectivity in a broadly constituted formation. As leaders of and our parties, we commit to hold regular consultations on pressing issues, exchange expertise and information on the best practices in the governance of the Republic of Kenya, and facilitate and participate in public activities of interest to the people of Kenya that relate to their problems. We make it clear that the memorandum we have signed today does not define the formation of a political coalition between ODM and UDA. However, its successful implementation could inform the basis of steps toward the establishment of a broadly constitutive and progressive formation for a stable country in future. We urge all Kenyans who are interested in having a stable, inclusive, and progressive country, devoid of grandstanding and alienation of whole communities and regions, to rally behind this formation in the interest of our nation. God bless Kenya. Thank you. My pleasure now to invite my brother, William Samoei Ruto, to come, the party leader of UDA.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Prime Minister, and please let's take our seats. Your Excellency, Raila Amolo Odinga, Prime Minister of Kenya and party leader of my former party. Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Excellencies, leaders of both UDA and ODM, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Hamjambo. I want to associate myself with the comments that have already been made by my elder brother, Raila Odinga, on the journey that we have come as our two political formations. When His Excellency Raila Odinga decided to run for the position of Africa Union Commission Chair, it was obvious to me that Number one, as a citizen of this country, I owed him support. And it was also clear to me that knowing him as a Pan-Africanist, as a leader with experience, and that he had immense understanding of issues Africa, he qualified for not just my support, but that of the government of Kenya. And that is why we went out of our way to support his candidature. As he has said, there were many propositions about his candidature. There are those who said my support for Raila Odinga was so that I could exit him from the stage. But there are those also who told me that by supporting the Honorable Raila Odinga and by him being the chair of Africa Union, I will be empowering him so that he can come and compete with me. And I had a very clear answer to them, that my support for Raila Odinga is not conditioned on him supporting me or him surrendering his aspirations for whatever reason. It was very clear to me that this support was deserved as a Kenyan. And I said then, and I will say again, that the Honorable Raila Odinga was a great candidate. He went out of his way. He ran a beautiful campaign, and I am very proud of his candidature. The outcome notwithstanding. And when he came back, we have been working together in the broad-based arrangement that we have, that is inspired not by what is in it for me or him, but how we can close ranks and deal with the issues that affect the people of Kenya. And that brings us to this moment. And I must congratulate the Honorable Raila Odinga and the ODM party for their boldness and courage to take the position for Kenya and for the people of Kenya. That to me is a very bold decision. It's a very courageous decision. It may not be a popular decision, but that does not undermine the fact that it is the right decision to stand with the people of Kenya. And allow me to say that our country is undergoing major shifts across socio-economic and political spheres. Many of these transformations are occurring within the broader context of globalization and unprecedented technological, geopolitical, climatic, and demographic changes, creating an atmosphere of immense pressure, formidable challenges, and even an existential crisis. Never before have Kenyans expressed such a deep and widespread yearning for positive change and political, economic, and socio-economic transformation that leaves nobody, no community, no region, no religion behind. The expectation for fundamental progress is unanimous, consistent, intense, and universal across the nation. There is no one part of Kenya that does not yearn for progress and transformation. These aspirations, grounded on our nation's enduring character of boldly pursuing freedom, democratically managing our diverse interests, and engaging progressive institutions such as a clear notice for all of us that the time has come for us to seize this historic opportunity unite more strongly than ever before, and deliver meaningful change to the Kenyan people. We undertake this commitment with the understanding that while our political parties may differ in strategy, we share a common goal: to build a united, secure, and prosperous Kenya under a government that is capable, committed, and willing to ensure abundance and opportunity for all without exception. This realization has enabled Kenya's largest political movements to engage constructively, recognizing the unique opportunity before us. As leaders and as a generation of citizens, we must embark on a bold and radical path of national transformation, confronting and resolving the fundamental issues that have shaped every national crisis since independence. And we have had an able listing of what this is. This is the path towards the promised land where freedom and opportunity are guaranteed for all. We recognize that this moment is unlike any other. It is not enough to merely identify systemic and structural obstacles that have denied generations a fair chance to achieve their aspirations. More importantly, we must rise above political differences and embrace a higher vision of the Kenya we all deserve. Understanding, therefore, that jobs, wealth, enterprise opportunities, and social services must be provided within an environment that is free, open, democratic, and competitive, we move forward with a shared commitment that is not only doing the right thing for our nation, but also to ensuring they are done right. We, the leaders of UDA, Kenya Kwanza, and ODM, commit to implementing the NADCO report to address key national issues, including the cost of living, youth unemployment, and gender inclusion. We also pledge to foster inclusivity in governance and development, protect and strengthen devolution, invest in creating opportunities for the youth, uphold integrity in leadership, and safeguard the right to peaceful assembly. We will raise and manage national resources responsibly to reduce our debt burden by ensuring transparency, responsible borrowing, and an audit of past debts. To realize and to know what has been borrowed, for what purpose, and how is it going to be paid. I attempted to set up this audit. It didn't work. I am confident that under this broad formation, we will now be able to audit our debts. This moment is not about William Ruto or Raila Odinga. This agreement, this memorandum of understanding, is not about sharing positions or winning elections. It is about the people and the interests of Kenya. That is what is significant. To me, the interests of this great nation. We have talked about Kenya of potential for far too long. It is now time that we close ranks as leaders, because this nation can succeed. We have what it takes to be a great nation. But we haven't made the steps and the decisions that would make this nation great, because we have always been making politically correct decisions. We need to make decisions that are correct as far as the interests of the people of Kenya are concerned. I must congratulate His Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, and the courage he has to make difficult decisions. Not many leaders can make the kind of decisions the Right Honorable Raila Odinga can make. Very few people can put the interests of the nation and the interests of the people above or ahead of their own personal interests. I say that without fear of any contradiction, because I know the kind of difficulty my elder brother has got to go through in getting us to this position. And my brother Raila Odinga, history is going to charge you fairly for what you have done for this nation. Immediately after the elections, several months after the elections, I called my brother and I told him, you have been my party leader. You have been my senior. Today, by God's grace, I'm president. I want you to be treated well. And I will do whatever it takes to make sure that you have respect in Kenya. And I am not doing this so that for any other reason that is selfish to me. I am doing this because I'm a younger person. You are an elder as far as I'm concerned, by age. And the contribution you have made to this Kenya deserves respect and deserves respect. And that is the relationship I have built with the Honorable Raila Odinga. And I am very clear in my mind that going into the future, it will take more than Raila Odinga and myself. It will take every one of us to pull this country together and to achieve the things that will change Kenya for the better. Let me say this, that equally we will fight corruption decisively, eliminate public resource wastage, and uphold the rule of law and constitutionalism, ensuring that government officials respect judicial decisions and protect the rights of all citizens. Our collective goal is a just, equitable, and prosperous Kenya for all of us. Thank you very much to all of you. May God bless our great country, Kenya. Asanteni sana.
Another round of applause for the principals, please, as I seek your indulgence, Your Excellencies, for a quick photo opportunity. If we can kindly just move the tables, if you'll just give us a minute to move the tables, we'll have a quick photo opportunity, starting with the two principals. If I can kindly request you just move slightly because of the flags, so that we are in the middle of the flags. Right there, Your Excellencies. Thank you. The second photo will have the party chairs and the Secretary Generals to kindly join in. The party chairs and the Secretary Generals. party chairs and the secretary generals to kindly join in. The party chairs and the secretary generals. If I can kindly request to just move slightly because of the flags, so that we are in the middle of the flags. Right.
Eliminate public resource wastage and uphold the rule of law and constitutionalism, ensuring that government officials respect judicial decisions and protect the rights of all citizens. Our collective goal is a just, equitable, and prosperous Kenya for all of us. Thank you very much to all of you. May God bless our great country, Kenya. Asanteni sana.
Another round of applause for the principals, please, as I seek your indulgence, Your Excellencies, for a quick photo opportunity.
Several months after the elections, I called my brother and I told him, you have been my party leader. You have been my senior. Today, by God's grace, I'm president. I want you to be treated well. And I will do whatever it takes to make sure that you have respect in Kenya. And I am not doing this so that for any other reason that is selfish to me. I am doing this because I'm a younger person. You are an elder as far as I'm concerned, by age. And the contribution you have made to this Kenya deserves respect and deserves respect. And that is the relationship I have built with the Honorable Raila Odinga. And I am very clear in my mind that going into the future, it will take more than Raila Odinga and myself. It will take every one of us to pull this country together and to achieve the things that will change Kenya for the better. Let me say this, that equally we will make decisions that are correct as far as the interests of the people of Kenya are concerned.
Thank you for watching Lightcast TV. This is Ninja Lawor Kolek. We've just watched Ruto and Raila sign an MOU that will see Kenya Kwanza and ODM work together. The two principals from the ODM, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and President William Ruto, have signed a memorandum of understanding that will see the United Democratic Alliance and the Orange Democratic Movement work together. The agreement has been signed at the Kenyatta International Convention Center in Nairobi and attended by several high-profile leaders, including politicians from Kenya Kwanza, affiliated parties, and the ODM party. Among the key agreements reached between the two leaders are the full implementation of the National Dialogue Committee, the NADCO report addressing youth unemployment, and the implementation of the 2/3 gender rule. Secondly, Ruto and Raila also agreed to enhance inclusivity among Kenyans, regardless of their religion and political affiliations. According to the leaders, enhancing inclusivity would improve opportunities for all Kenyans, especially public appointments. In the MOU read by ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna jointly with his UDA counterpart Hassan Omar, Raila and Ruto also agreed to promote leadership and integrity by curbing the opulence of leaders and providing a legal framework to address conflicts of interest within government institutions. The two leaders also signed an agreement to protect and promote the rule of law and uphold constitutionalism. Further, in the agreement, the government also committed to exercising the right to peaceful assembly and compensation of all pending claims of rights victims. The head of state and the former prime minister also signed an agreement for the immediate audit of the country's national debt, detailing how each debt was taken by Kenya and how it was used. Additionally, Raila and Ruto submitted to end corruption in the country and stop wastage of public resources, particularly by leaders within the government. Under the broad-based government, the duo also heeded to protect devolution as provided by the 2010 Constitution, which allowed the establishment of the 47 counties. To ensure seamless collaboration, the two leaders agreed to hold frequent consultations on pressing issues of interest to Kenyans and engage necessary expertise to address critical matters of national interest. The latest development comes a day after the former Prime Minister concluded his 2-week consultative tour across the country as he sought Kenyans' input on his next political move. Don?
Yeah, so we've had Kenyans react differently to the event, and just to read some few comments. Tuko na Violet Amunga, asante sana for your comment, and Geoffrey anasema sasa ndio mtakula Kenya visawasawa, but your time is coming and we are not happy of you people. Kengo Jefferson anasema Kenya has failed because of a corrupt leader like you. Kasongo. Kuna mwingine anasema at the age of 90 the old greedy loser is still chasing money. What a shame. Okay, that's your comment. Tuko na nani mwingine? Dari M anasema President Ruto, DP Raila. Okay, maybe according to the, how can I put it, the rank or how Raila Odinga introduced William Ruto, because it's always the other way. Like we saw today, Kindiki introducing Raila and Raila introducing the president. So that's why some people are saying maybe Raila Odinga is the deputy president. Mm-hmm. It makes sense. And tuko na Paul Ngiri pia congratulating Raila. Also tuko na Angus Mikaye. Thank you for tuning in. Isaac Kouma anasema I will vote you and your Ruto out. 2027 is your team versus the Gen Z. You are a failure. And tuko na Frederick Sam anasema great baba, wonderful. Terry Mtu anasema huyu ana maisha marefu. Okay. Pop worshiping. Thank you all the guys when you tune in. So I think the event may turn out to be somehow opposite of what people expected. So, and according to me, I didn't see a situation where the President Ruto and Raila Odinga should cause a bit of a scene. According to me, they have created a scene which was unnecessary, because they have put the Kenyans in a situation where now, should we expect Raila Odinga to continue opposing President Ruto? Or should we see a situation where the UDA the UDA politicians should continue condemning the ODM members once maybe they correct them in any way? Tuko na Ochieng Opate anasema walio kudharau siku moja watakusalimia. Okay, unaimba hapo. Collins Favor anasema Ruto ashamaliza na hakuna chenye watafanya, hakuna ku disrespect Raila. Okay, mwingine anasema hii this handshake, na mwingine anasema sijai jua baba anaweza saliti wafuasi wake hivi. And Patrick Ontita anasema that is what is we called handshake. Adede Benjamin anasema nauliza kama Sifuna ataka. I think we'll do a video about that later. And Adede Piers, thank you very much for tuning in. So those are the comments from Kenyans. So Kuna mtu ameuliza Kasifu nataka.
Well, I think it's just a matter of time, but he was playing his part as per the constitution of the Orange Democratic Republic. Remember, they have their own constitution, and as the SG, he had to enact his part.
Okay.
He was doing his due. He was exercising his mandate as the SG, and all the agreements that have been read out, it has gone through all party organs.
Okay.
The ODM party organs, and they have thoroughly discussed it. And so we heard Raila Molo Odinga said that he cannot sign that agreement without having consultations with his people from all over the country who are ODM members. And so this is not a coalition government.
Okay.
Like I said, quoting the law student who was interviewed recently by Jeff Koinange with other young counterparts who are government enthusiasts, he said that ODM is in the government, is not in the government de jure, which means that by right they were not voted in.
Okay.
ODM is in the government de facto, meaning that they have formed the broad-based government because members of the ODM are working in the CS departments, cabinet secretaries. We have cabinet secretaries who are working there in different capacities, in finance, in mining, in energy. And so they have not formed really a coalition government, but they are working towards implementing and strengthening the NADCO report. And some of the issues that I already highlighted were the promoting and protecting the livelihood of young people, inclusivity of all public life, implementation, protection and strengthening of devolution, increasing budgetary locations to the counties, leadership and integrity, trying to curb opulence amongst the leaders in the government who have been seen to just show off the wealth, right to peaceful assembly and protest, and amnesty must be granted to the victims who were affected, national debt to be considered, audit of how much has been borrowed and how it has been used should be taken into account, fight against corruption, strengthening of the EACC office and the control of budget office, and all the institutions involved in corruption, fighting against corruption and winning it, stopping wastage of public resources, protecting sovereignty of people and rule of law, respecting the provisions of Political Party Act, holding regular consultations, enacting best practices for good governance in Kenya. I think, well, in my thoughts, these are really good. These are really good agreement in the face of Kenyans, but we all know that most of the people on the ground have had this before in the year 2022, especially the people who voted in this president.
Yeah.
Those who said they were lied to. The people who were lied to in the year 2022, who voted in the UDA party under the guise of having bottom-up economic agenda becoming a reality. I don't think they can trust this.
Okay.
I don't think they can trust what this pact between ODM and the UDA pact is actually bringing to the fore. I think that most of the people on the ground have lost confidence with the government. They have lost confidence with Ruto and now feel that Raila is a traitor and he should have stuck with the opposition. And you remember members from a certain region actually jubilating the fact that Raila Amolo Odinga has lost the bid, the AUC bid, thinking that Raila Amolo Odinga will actually be a champion in the opposition. But we find that Raila Amolo Odinga has decided to take the difficult and the most unpopular decision of actually consulting and collaborating with the government to ensure that the issues of the NADCO report are actually implemented and strengthened for the good of the Kenyan people.
Okay, yeah, that's your take. I think we'll do some analysis on a different aspect of this agreement, maybe later in the day. And I will be uploading the videos on YouTube. Kindly, if you're watching on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for the reaction videos so that you be stay updated. And also you can tell us what do you think of situations like maybe Sifuna's position right now, and we have someone like Babu Owino and those people that were against Raila Odinga associating in any way with President Ruto. You can tell us what you think about comment section. And thank you very much for those who have watched the video, the live stream since we started till now, and thank you for sharing the broadcast. See you. My name is Martin.
And my name is Ninja Lawor.
Yeah, see you on the next, and follow Lightcast TV on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Lightcast TV Kenya, also on TikTok, follow us at Lightcast TV Kenya, and also on Twitter or X, Lightcast TV Kenya. See you on the next video.